What?
Sir.
Those please.
What those?
Thank you for inviting me. Everything I make is seal fur because in the Arctic and Canada we have 10 million of them, and I recognized the little bag that it's in. He gave me a present and it came in that bag. We use Katangutikali Dagukirima Adautikulalalama Ay 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 Today, when the meeting started, I felt like I was part of a community that I understood and that understood me. And what this song is saying is, if you're easily cold, if you're in the land of the ice, you look around at your surroundings, you pay attention to the land, you pay attention to the ice. And when I get together with my relations, I feel like one. And that's exactly how I felt today. It felt like, oh, I'm part of this community and I felt like one. So I wanted to start my talk and my gratitude with feeling like one, because as Indigenous peoples of Canada, or as Indigenous peoples, we don't even need to explain, we don't need to talk, we inherently have it in our system, in our cell, in our blood, in how we conduct ourselves. We understand it, we get it, even without any explanation, So thank you for making me feel like one, making me feel like I'm with my relations, which is in the song that John Burroughs was singing. This is our autonomy, this is our authority, this is our sovereignty. When I go on cruise ships and I go into Lake Harper, there's an elder who greets us. Then he cuts up the seal and offers the meat to all the visitors. That may seem quite innocent. The thing is, he has the authority bestowed on him of his sovereignty, of all the water, of all the land, of all the customs. He has the authority and the autonomy to extend the welcome. Where we come from, you show your sovereignty by being welcoming. It's not borders.
Sure.
It is if you welcome people and treat them welcoming and you welcome them to your territory, that's your sovereignty, that's your authority, and it's not borders. It's not saying, where's your passport? Do you have right to be here? All this. We are taught to, when you come to our territory, to welcome you. As the land, the animals, everything that we have demands from us. What it shows is our gratitude. our gratitude for the food that we get, our gratitude for everything that we get. The environment, the land, the animals, everything demands that we welcome you to show our gratitude for what is given to us, for what we have. It's not passports, it's not keeping people away, it's the more welcoming we can be, the more our environment and our land, everything sees how grateful we are. I wanted to pass that on to you because before all your questions, I just wanted to impart our notion of the people of the Arctic ice, what our sovereignty looks like. It's welcoming. It's making you feel welcome. Not by ourselves, but demanded by our environment, the food that is given to us, and we show that back as a gratitude for our life, to show that we are grateful. I really wanted to hear your questions, what you wanted to hear watching Twice Colonized, and yeah. Nice time.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Wado. I never wear ties too, so this is awesome.
From now on.
Now I will. It's beautiful. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Or just stand up. Yes.
When is your book being released?
When is your book being released? I don't know if you heard that.
My book will be written, I have 36,000 words on it, will be released when I stop being a student and when I stop teaching and when I win a lotto where I can sit at the cottage. I have a dog, I'll have a dog. And I'll have enough money to pay for everything and I'll just be writing. Stay tuned, that's coming soon.
That's great news. Good news. Other questions or comments?
Any comment about the current geopolitical situation with North America?
Any comment on the current geopolitical situation in North America? I imagine you're referring to Greenland and some aspirations by the big orange toddler down south? Okay, yeah.
Like that now.
I moved away from Greenland in '81. I live on the Canadian side. But I've been asked about this, living outside of Greenland. And I listen to the Greenland radio, and what Trump has done actually is uniting Canada and the provinces, uniting Greenland and the Danish colonizer. He's actually made us open up how we deal with each other and how we can cooperate better without the U.S.
How?
The only problem is that during the World War, the United States set up bases where they have military bases in Greenland. So he could easily, he's not just kidding, he has American soldiers in Greenland already, Air Force, that he could just take away if he wanted to. The problem is Trump has such a big ego that if the American people did not like that, if they showed an opposition, he would falter to his own big ego and not do that. And the world has rules that you can't just go and take over. Just because you're the big bully and you can't just go and take over. There will be a great opposition, and we are counting on that, living up north. We are counting on the United Nations, the big powers in the world, even though we call United States the big power, we would have a great union that would oppose that. On the other hand, we are the people of the Arctic. We would just disperse out into no man's land because we still know how to survive out there. I'm really hoping that Trump wouldn't be taking over Greenland. But if he did, I'm really hoping that the whole world and people who have signed conventions and treaties would assist Denmark and Greenland in ousting Trump. But we don't know. His mind goes up and down, changes all the time. And I think that's what he gets a kick out of that. Lately, the Greenlandic new politicians that are just elected 2 days ago, they're saying that they want to have a delegation to go and speak with Trump directly, face to face, and tell him Greenland is not for sale. We have been there thousands of years, and we will not be taken over.
I'm just wondering how you continue to recenter yourself if you get frustrated or angry or just upset in general.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Wine helps a lot. And my smoking. But what I have done since 1978, when I went back to Greenland, there was another Greenlander who went back, and she taught me yoga, and we would run. And she gave me the book in 1978, and I've been following that. It helps me center. And then I figured, I really don't get angry. I get frustrated, but I think the frustration helps me. As I was telling my Apex daughter, if you get angry, it's just gonna eat you up. It's not your fault. When we had John Burroughs as our law professor, and we had Jeff, we had so many Indigenous law professors coming to our school when we were taking law. And they were just talking about all the hardships, about losing land, about losing language, about so much shit that they had to go through. They didn't hold the anger. And I was like, what the hell? How can they do that? And I thought, oh, all that shit doesn't belong with them. It belongs to the person who imposed it on them. So they don't have to carry that. It belongs to people who killed the little children. It belongs to people who took all the land. It belongs to all the people who caused all that harm. They don't have to carry it. And I was like, oh, how amazing. We don't have to carry all that shit. It doesn't belong to me, it belongs to those people. So that's how. Because when you're angry, when you have all that misery, it just eats you up and it blurs your vision and your direction. And if you are not the one who caused that, give it back to them. Just don't hold it. It's not yours to hold. It's so freeing.
Other questions or comments? Oh yeah, put there. So.
I just wanted to say thank you for your movie.
Thank you so much. When I started fighting the anti-stealing campaign, I was just always by myself, and we didn't have the media, we didn't have the films, we didn't have all the technology to reach as many people as we could. So I'm really, really grateful that Lynn, a Danish woman, made this film, because now I can reach so many more people. And it's actually really, really healing. It's not just Inuit, it's not just Indigenous people that we touch. Many displaced peoples, many people who come from other countries, who come from other hardships, are touched because the film has so much in there and it really resonates. But the biggest thing is we talk about it. We don't even have a word for colonization or guilty or decolonization. I had to make it all up in the process because it's a process that we all have to go through. Not just the Inuit, not just the First Nations. It's a dialogue that we have. An informed, intellectual, wise dialogue that we have, because we are not going to send the settlers back to Europe. We are going to learn how to live together and have a great country. I was actually in a panel at Lakehead talking about Canada Day. And the First Nations ladies didn't like me because I said, I love Canada Day. The difference was I chose. I chose to be here. I chose to come to Canada. I love Canada. I love being Canadian. I didn't have to live through all that, what they were hurt about. But in Canada, I can wear my tattoos. I can go to the government and address the ministers or parliament. I can talk against the parliament if I wanted to, but I'm not going to be executed. I'm not going to be killed. In Canada, I'm free to express my opinion, and that's what I love. We embrace our ability to express our opinion and our opposition or whatever we want, and look at the rest of the world who's just fighting and killing each other and causing so much harm. We don't have that here, and I'm very proud of that. And we can talk. I can wear my tattoos without being hung. Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
We got to see some fabulous dancing in this film.
Okay, I'm gonna dance now.
I'm wondering what kind of music are you listening to right now? Do you have any recommendations for us? We need your music.
So with the rolling, before we released the documentary, we asked Tina Turner if we could use that clip, and she said yes. And believe it or not, when Tina Turner was coming to Toronto, I wrote to Margaret Atwood, the Margaret Atwood. I said, Margaret, Tina is coming to a concert in Toronto, let's go. So we went. It was so fun. We could almost touch Tina Turner, but do not ask Margaret out. I'm a smoker, and she's my bodyguard. And we tried to go and have my smoke, and everybody was there, selfie and her autograph, and they stop her. And I'm going, Margaret, I need my smoke. So, not recommended. because you won't get your smoke because everybody wants all her time and she's trying to be my bodyguard, right? The music, I think Inuit
Cat.
are the people that have the most fun. If you haven't peed in your pants, you haven't laughed. We laugh because our environment is so harsh, our reality is so harsh. That's way of releasing. And coming back down, we always look at everything half full, not half empty. The traditional saying in the Inuit world is, the mind is so powerful that the body is like a feather
Speeds.
being blown in the tundra.
Good.
And when I first heard that, I'm like, oh, I'm carrying my brain and my body is so heavy. How can my mind be so powerful that I'm nothing? And that's what we live by.
Good.
We have survived thousands of years in minus 60, minus 100 on nothing. Self-sustaining and thriving without the outside world because of our mind. The mind is so powerful that it sustains you and it carries you everywhere. It took me a really long time to understand. When the elder said, oh, your mind is so powerful, and it is so true. We see it today. Just shifting our thinking a little bit.
Yeah.
Just shifting and giving back all that doesn't belong here is incredible. Yeah.
Question for you about a Southerner who many of us never get to ask a question of someone who lives in the North. And I'm curious about climate change and what you would like us to do about it.
Oh, climate change is really, really real. When I started taking tourists in the Arctic, where the ice we call that never melts has receded from here up to the back of this theater. And there's nothing that grows on it because nothing has had chance to grow. It's really real.
Speed.
When our hunters cannot go out for months, and when they cannot, when our roadways, which are our ice and our hunting grounds, that takes us out on the ice and everywhere. When we lose months to this, it's really real.
Yeah.
When winds are coming from directions that we are not used to, I think we are the ones that are suffering more of the climate change because our traditions are so based on the land, the ice, the weather, yeah. And now we are not getting funding to develop new skills to deal with this. How do we adapt a hunting culture into a new way of life? That's going to take money, that's going to take political will and retraining our communities. When the hunters are just following the same paths and they just fall right into the ocean because the ocean is warming up also from the bottom up.
Yeah.
It's a reality we live with every day as the world that we know that we depended on is changing.
That is.
But we have to adapt. We cannot stop the changing of the land, the water, everything on our own. It has to be the will of the earth, inhabitants, all of us. It can't just be coming in industrial countries saying, oh, we need a chance and we need to do all this. We need an opportunity to become financially independent, and we are just going to burn everything, and we are not going to give a damn. As long as we have countries who don't give a damn, the work that we do or we are trying to do is not going to work. We need to look at our earth as one and together decide, okay, our earth has had enough. It's our own suicide that we are making right now, and if you're not willing to, if 50% are willing and if 50% don't give a damn, Aaju Peter cannot do anything. It has to be a political will as one peoples on one earth. We can't just go to the moon or to Mars or to Jupiter because this is screwed up. It's really us as inhabitants of one earth, and we all have to pull it together. We all have to step in and say, okay, we're doing this together for our future generations. I hope I'm making sense. Yeah. It can't just be Canada, it can't just be the Inuit. We all have to do it. Countries that are just burning so much are unwilling or don't want to believe that there is a climate change. We need to help them to understand that, look, we are in this world together. We all have to work together, and let's take it on here to do our part to turn that around.